Okay, it is time to talk about warping. This is one of the biggest capabilities of Live, and in fact, I think it's probably the thing that put Live on the map. Like, if you asked me to list the 5 most important things Live could do, warping would be one of them. So, what is warping? Warping is the process that we use and the tool that Live has that lets all of the clips that we put into a session play at the same tempo. Okay, let me demonstrate. Okay, so I have here a bunch of drum loops. Let's see. Actually, let's grab that one. Okay, well, let's grab this one first. Now let's find something melodic like that. Okay, sure. Let's use both of these. Okay, so here's this one. Okay, that's gonna loop forever, right? That's cool, that's great. Okay, let's stop that one. Now let's hear this one. Okay, it's super fast. That's okay. All right, let's leave it as super fast. So the idea here is that I could pull in 2 drum loops that are at different tempos, and Live is going to do the math and say, whatever tempo these things are, I'm going to play them both at my session tempo, which is this tempo of 95, which means that no matter what I pull into Live, assuming it has figured out the tempo correctly, it is going to play them in a way that they can blend together. So let's hear them at the same time. Here we go. See, this one is frantic. This one is frantic, but they're blending together just fine, right? Like they're both playing perfectly fine. This one is double time of this one. Now, this is a great example because what this is showing us is that Live has to figure out the tempo of the clip. And in this case, it figured it out at double time. That's fine. But I can go into the warp settings and tell it, you're doing it in double time, so I'm just going to hit this X2 and say it's actually double that. Okay? So now it's at a better time. Okay, so now it's less frantic. It's more in time. But what it's doing is Live saying, okay, the BPM of this clip, Live thinks it's 148.85. Okay? But if that's correct, it knows how to do the math to get it to play at our session tempo, which is 95 BPM. Okay? Same thing with this one. It says this one is 120 BPM. But it knows how to do the math to get it to play at 95. So both of these are going to play at 95. And that makes them gel. Okay, that also makes for an awful lot of bass. But let's find something melodic and see if we can get it to work in there too. Let's say a guitar riff. Let's find something more. Sure, let's put that right there. Okay, let's see if it warped this correctly. If it did, then it's going to fit right into this groove just fine. Okay, so it warped it correctly. It fits. It's cool. So that is what warping is. Warping is the way that Live knows how to make everything play in time. Now, the trick to warping is that live isn't always right. And so it gets pretty complicated with when we try to help live and get it to warp something correctly. And that's what we need to learn how to do in this section. There's a bunch of settings that we can do to help live learn how to warp. There's some techniques that I'm going to go over on making sure something is warped right. And then there's some really fun things we can do by warping something incorrectly and making some crazy sounds. So let's get into it.